Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Magandang hapon sa isang malamig panahon. And please stay safe, everyone. We had earthquake earlier this morning. Then, of course, we have the typhoon. And much more, we have the pandemic that is looming around. So, everyone, please stay safe as we have our MMAAP talk for today. This is our third episode, and I do hope that everyone will enjoy and learn out of it, which you could be able to use in your field as a multimedia arts practitioner, or even if you are a student. So before we continue, before we get started, let me just give you a backgrounder of what Multimedia Arts Association of the Philippines is all about. MMAAP, or the Multimedia Arts Association of the Philippines, is the first ever professional organization for multimedia arts in the Philippines, bringing together freelancers, professionals on multimedia platforms, agencies, even school, educational institution. The MMAAP hopes to establish itself as the cornerstone of Filipino multimedia arts, enriching its members with a strong national and international network, professional support, and opportunities for capacity building through seminars just like this, workshops, and national conventions. Of course, to know more about MMAAP, you could check it out, you could hit it out with www.mmaap.com.ph. On top of that, we have our Facebook page. You can follow us in Facebook at www.facebook.com/MMAAP official. We also have rich multimedia contents like these talks, which could be viewed even if you are not able to watch it today live. You could check it on YouTube, Multimedia Arts Association of the Philippines. By the way, this is Zaldi. I'm one of the board of governors in the Multimedia Arts Association of the Philippines. At the same time, I'm the point person in the professional membership. So we believe that there will be some of you, and I believe that many of you will be much interested in joining with us. So kindly check the website and fill out the informations if you are interested, whether you are a student, a practitioner, an educator, or somebody who has strong heart, or you have a love or support to multimedia arts, or you have a passion in multimedia arts. All right. So this event would not be possible without the support of our sponsors or our partners. We have the, of course, we have the PIL IT System Design Solution Company. PIL IT System Design Solution Company is a software development company based in the Philippines that provides custom software perfectly developed according to the rules and processes of any client. PIL IT System Design Solution Company will allow you to manage and monitor your entire business, organization, or any institution through your computer or mobile phone, wherever and whenever. That is PIL IT for us. Another one is Only Web Hosting. We want to thank Only Web Hosting as one of our partner. Only Web Hosting is the choice of bloggers, web designers, graphic designers, photographers, businesses, and the like. As seasoned web developers, they know what is good for your website. They know what is good for your website hosting is. They will help you from inception to completion. And even while you are on it, they have helpful tech support. It is budget friendly, their prices are budget friendly, and they have industry standard web hosting platform, which make only web hosting the go-to web hosting provider in the Philippines. Now, on their 17 years in the industry, quite simply, you cannot go wrong with only web hosting. All right. Now let's get to the main thing. We want to welcome everyone to MAAP Talks 2021 episode 3, which is titled Product Design and UX, your user experience, designing applications for everyone. Designing applications for everyone, this is just right for you. And if you are one of the, if you have passion with multimedia arts or multimedia, this is right just for you. Our speaker for today is Mr. Ian Alcantara, the lead product designer of ABJD Solutions or ABJD Studios. He has successfully led, created, and designed multiple web and mobile applications that focuses on usability and desirability. He's the lead designer of the FDCP Channel, a streaming platform based in the Philippines, and Acadmus, an upcoming learning management system. Now let's learn from Mr. Ian Alcantara of ABJD Studios or ABJD Studios what product design is and how to think like UX, UI designer. So, Sir Ian, how are you?
Hi, sir. I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, that's great. So we thank God kasi despite all what happened earlier today, the
Yes,
earthquake
sir.
and all, together with the typhoon, the gust of the wind and strong rain, you still made it. I know at least makikita
Yeah.
natin yung commitment mo with
Yeah.
regards to how you want to help. Sabi nga namin sa MAAP, para sa bayan. So I think you are thinking the same way, you know, Sir Ian?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so briefly, sir, kindly tell us something before you even talk to us. Tell us something about your experiences briefly so that we could be able to connect with you. Yes, sir.
Sure thing. Yes, sir. Actually, I started UX UI design last 2018 since ID 114 kasi ako ng binild um and I loved kasi the Minter class, the Inter class sa binild, and the Minter class kasi is kind of like the intro to programming and UX UI design as well. So actually si Sir Rizaldi po yung naging professor ko sa Minter 6. So, and I'm seeing Miss Catherine since siya rin yung professor ko sa Minter 3. So malaking factor sila sa current kong position ngayon sa industry. So after college kasi I started working as a web designer at an Australian software development company. And then I gained knowledge then and appreciation sa UI UX sa first mentor ko, and I think she's here as well. And then after that, I feel like programming and frontend is very important in designing applications since it helps me to empathize lang more with the developers. So after that, I studied front-end development and back-end development as well. And then I became a full-stack developer at some point, I think for 9 months. And then after that, after learning programming, I focused more on the UI UX side na. And then I created my own studio, which is ABJD Studios. And ayun, I've gained a lot of clients. We have FDCP Channel as our main client. So we've created yung FDCP Channel na you can search ngayon sa browser. It's like a Netflix that is based in the Philippines.
Wow, Ian. So I'm really happy that you have gone a long way. And just like what I will always tell those that will pass through my mentorship somehow, that you can do better than us. So sabi ko nga, if there is a talk in MAAP that is closer to my heart, this is UI UX. And I believe those of you that are currently online with us, whether it's in Zoom or in Facebook Live, let's set it up with Sir Ian because before ang tawag ko sa kanya is student Ian. Now I'm calling him Sir Ian. You could be one of those that before we are just treating you as our students, but now you see you have gone a long way and you are now able to share what you have learned or the accumulated things or skills that somehow could be able to uplift the multimedia arts community. So thank you, Ian. So probably even after this talk, we could even talk more.
Yes, sir, for sure.
And I'm so happy, just like what I've said, that we saw them budding initially, but eventually they have grown so much that we are even pushing them higher. Sabi nga, kung ikaw ay isang teacher, you will be happy to see students who have graduated now are professionals and they are making it really well. So Ian or Sir Ian, I will not disrupt your talk now. So probably during your talk, I could chip in.
Yes.
Simple lang. But I know that you can make it and take it away.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Ladies
So
and
I'll
gentlemen,
just
this
share
is
my screen.
Mr. Ian Alcantara.
Yeah.
And let's give him a virtual clap po. Okay, reaction po natin. Virtual clap. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sige, Sir Ian.
Thank you, sir. I'll just share my screen. Um, can you see my screen?
Okay, sir. Kita, sir.
Perfect. So you're seeing the screen that it says super quick intro, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So I gave an intro naman kanina and then super quick intro na lang ulit. I'm Ian Alcantara. I am currently the lead product designer at ABJD Studios. I'm also the product director of Acadmus and UX UI consultant at CDR. CDR is a software development company based in the US. And I'm also a part-time instructor at CIIT where I teach UX UI as well. And I'm a 114 Benil graduate. I graduated last 2018 with a degree of AB Multimedia Arts. So this one naman, I try to fit everything naman nandito inside one day. So I'm a lead product designer at ABJD Studios in the morning, and then Acadmus in the afternoon, and night shift kasi for CDR since it's based in the US. All of my accounts are based in the US. And then for CIIT, I teach every Saturdays. So a quick intro lang about ABJD Studios. So we're a software development studio. Here's our cute tagline. We're concentrated on innovation, blending strategy, design, and technology, since we know that creating applications is not just about being aesthetically beautiful design. So we try to blend strategy, design, and technology to create a successful design. And so here's what we do at ABJD Studios. Our main service kasi is creating web applications, mobile applications, and product design, or we may call it UX UI. And with that, I'll start now with my presentation about product design and UX, designing applications for everyone. So a product designer kasi is a sum-up term lang to describe a designer who is generally involved in the creation of the look and feel of the whole website. So minsan kasi na product design could be UI or UI could be product design as well. So it is based lang talaga sa preference ng industry. And then, so moving forward, so we have in product design kasi we have user experience and user interface. So what is this ba? So UX UI kasi might seem easy for some, but it is actually really challenging. I think that things that you really learn are the things that you do in practice talaga. So sa experience ko kasi, ito yung mga narinig ko when it comes to UX UI, especially sa software development company. So sinasabi nila that UX is super easy, people don't scroll, UX is not that important. Although some of this are kind of true, but we have to go deep into this before saying na people don't scroll or let's click the better user experience. So hindi natin basta-basta pwedeng sabihin yung experience na ganito if it's not yet research or user experience design. So pag narinig ko kasi siya, this is my initial reaction. So well, I think as a product design and in software development industry is polluted with people using the word UX and not knowing what to do. Everyone uses the word, but not many people know it inside and out and truly understand kasi its implications. So in this talk kasi, I wanted to give more value to the product design and UX. So UX kasi is not just a fancy word for common sense. Marami kasi nagsasabi na UX is just common sense lang. And let me give you a quick example for this one. So imagine if we are given keycaps sa keyboard for your keyboard. And let's also imagine that we have never seen a keyboard. And just for the sake of this example, hindi pa natin alam kung anong keyboard. So common sense is gagawin natin yung keyboard into an alphabetical layout. So if you can see, it's A, B, C, D, E, not the QWERTY. So actually, fun fact, when the keyboard was first invented, they had the keys arranged in alphabetical order. But people type so fast that yung mechanical character arms, since typewriter siya, got tangled up. So they tried to fix it to what we have currently, yung QWERTY. Although today, there would be no logic in putting this kind of layout since yung issue lang niya is a typewriter nagja-jam and now we have different kinds of keyboard na. Nagstay lang si QWERTY since naging prominent lang siya throughout the years after changing the alphabetical order to the QWERTY. But great user experience ask na who said we need keyboard to type. Kasi if you are a UX designer, we have to think about the people with disability who can type or people with no access to keyboards. So that's why we have yung text to speech. That's why we have calls, video calls. So if you are a great UX designer, you always try to think outside the box and you try to think about all the possible users that will be using your applications. So let's define what is UX. So Nielsen Norman Group says that user experience encompasses all aspects of the end user's interaction with the company, its services, and its product. So basically, it's how a user interacts and experiences with a product. So let's dive deep into what UX is. So we have the concept of user experience from a research last 2005 called human-computer interaction. So if you can notice the interface, it is the mediator of a user task. And then a task requires us to engage the whole system. So example is, for example, phone call. The core function is to call someone. And each of these tasks kasi needs an input to get an output. So for example, the input is clicking the call button and the output is yung getting the call. So the concept of UX in a nutshell kasi, it should be, UX should be, your application should be useful and usable. Useful meaning it completes a task, and usable, its effectiveness or efficiency or satisfaction in which a user can achieve a task. So we have 3 levels kasi in the concept of UX based on the research. So first level is the individual. So individual is the ability to use the interface that will be related to their personal characteristics. For example, their age, education level, even comfort with technology, physical constraints, and other stuff. And then next we have is the group level. So for the group level lang, this is the adaptation of a system that may have to do with how that individual characteristic affects other users. So example, if I'm an early adopter or I'm a millennial, then I might influence other early adopter or millennial to try out the system that I'm using. So this relates to emotional aspects. Example, for elders, they study or they use text or SMS or Facebook Messenger, Viber, because that's the way they communicate with their grandchildren. So that's one example of the group level. And then last, we have the society level. So this is yung cultural issues that may affect the system. So example is yung varying regards to views on privacy and may affect the utilization of the system, like religion, gender conflicts, or language, since we don't want to design an application na Tagalog na will sell sa Japan, so it will not work. So I've created this short sentence regarding UX. So UX should be, I conducted research, so therefore I designed. So research is always prerequisite in designing applications, not I conducted research and I designed, not I designed because I like it, or not I designed because it looks pretty. So we have to conduct research first before designing. And then, so how do we start with the UX? So we start by asking a lot of questions as much as possible. So we ask, like, when are we going to release this application? Who is our target market? What is this feature all about? How are we going to execute this specific function? And or why are we designing this application? So we have to gather a lot of questions as much as possible so we could identify problems that we are trying to solve. So I have this mentor kasi, he's based in Berlin. He's the one of the directors of UX in OutSystems. OutSystems kasi is a low-code platform. And yung OutSystems kasi, Sir Rizaldi actually introduced me to OutSystems nung Mentor 6 namin. So I have a mentor na rin sa OutSystems mismo. And name niya si Menno Kramer. You can find him on LinkedIn or mga blogs niya sa OutSystems website. So I asked him kasi before this talk, what is UX for him? So sinabi niya, UX is much more than just a design. And yes, it should be the emphasis on the U. It's about the user, not a single user. So example, I interviewed 2 employees, so I did UX. So it's not that, it's about understanding them and knowing them their job almost better than themselves. So dapat mas alam natin yung trabaho ng target market natin kaysa sa trabaho nila mismo. So after that, we can design something meaningful. So yun yung this is the exact word na sinabi sa akin ni Menno. So let's talk about the return of investment in UX, since that is, of course, important as well. So I got this from the UX school. So the return of investment in UX design is $100 for every $1 investment. So based on this logic, if a company invested $1 for a UX designer, the UX designer's deliverables or artifact would turn the $1 into $100. So I'll give you an example of this one. So Netflix, for example, Netflix actually controls our decision without knowing. So fun fact, Netflix creates thumbnails, create bunch of thumbnails for a single movie or series and shows you the best tailor-made thumbnail for you. So Netflix thumbnails kasi are super important when you are choosing a series and movies to watch. So the UX designer of Netflix created this feature. So if you're a Netflix user and you love to watch romantic movies or rom-coms, yung Goodwill Hunting movie will show you this kind of thumbnail. So romantic yung thumbnail niya. And if you love to watch, or if you're watching more comedies in Netflix, yung lalabas sa Goodwill Hunting will be Robin Williams since it's comedian siya. So ito yung ginagawa ng Netflix para ma-retain yung user or to help the user renew yung subscription. So another thing to consider dun sa return of investment. So let's talk about yung tools that we're currently using. There are a lot of tools kasi, but this is the tools that I'm recommending. So we have FigJam, Figma, Miro, Balsamiq, XD, and Pen and Paper. So FigJam kasi it's kinda new lang. I think this year lang siya na launch under Figma. FigJam kasi is online whiteboard platform. Here we can brainstorm, create diagrams, meron din siyang functionality like post-its, and we can also collaborate with other UX designers. And then Figma, it's similar to XD, competitor na XD. Here you can create prototypes, low fidelity wireframes, high fidelity mock-ups. And then Miro is same lang ni FigJam, online whiteboard platform din siya. And then Balsamiq, it's a wireframe platform, low fidelity platform. So for special, ang use lang niya is more on for low fidelity designs. So here are some of the artifacts na we've created as a UX designer. So on the left side, we have the internal audit. So this is a sample from Acadmus pre-discovery version 1, since we have a lot of iterations. So in the internal auditing, we have the story. So we've gathered why Acadmus was created, its core purpose, and its vision, among other stuff. And then we also have the real-time board. We've used idea boards here kasi medyo matagal na siya, and we're currently using FigJam. So sa real-time board, we have here the empathize board, the define, and the ideate. So on the empathize column, here's where we try to empathize with our target users, and then we define the problem, and then we create an idea on how to solve that problem. So this is a sample from the Acadmus pre-discovery version 1. And we also have the lightning demo. So the lightning demo kasi, so I'll explain lightning demo first. So lightning demo kasi is an exercise in stealing or adapting or gathering competitors to get ideas and implement it to your product. So parang stealing siya, this a good idea from your competitor and adding it to your application. So this is for the user experience, not the UI, not 1:1 na kopya yung feature. So we have to revise it based on our lightning demos. So as a UX designer, we try to demo each of our pegs in the design that we gathered, and then we try to figure out which functionality works best or which user flow works best. And then we also have the information architecture. This is a flow chart. I recommend doing the information architecture with a developer since the backend developer will rely on this one. So it's actually a work of a UX designer or a business analyst, but we have to collaborate with the developer if this kind of information architecture is possible to create in the development phase. And then on the right side, we have the screen flows. It's the sample from Acadmus discovery session as well. So this is a sample of the low fidelity wireframes. It's actually it's supposed to be ugly, just like what I'm currently showing right now, since we have to move away from the design. Since if we wanted to review this one, we wanted to move away from the design comments and focus more on the flow, on the user flow or the user journey. So let's now talk about UI or user interface. So the Interaction Design Foundation says that user experience design is a process of visually guiding the user through a product's interface via interactive elements and across all sizes and platform. So it's super defined na dyan. And Martin LeBlanc says that a user interface is like a joke. If you have to explain it, it's not that good. So why does UI matter? So I have 3 points why UI matter. So first, it enhances user experience exponentially when done right. Anticipates customers' expectation and delivers on them when sufficient and thorough user research has gone into the UI design. And then improves customer satisfaction by ensuring that every time a user accesses an application, they're able to perform the intended task with a complete success.